of that. Desktop overlay. We are ready to start streaming. Cool. Okay, so it's been a while since we've been looking at this project. We've been distracted last week with Godot 4.6 and sort of other things in relation to that. I'm still working on that in the background, but I thought it was a good time to get back into working on the Metroidvania without a name. And we're sort of up to this boss fight where we're doing okay. We've got most of the mechanics down. This boss has been a little bit more difficult to implement because what we are trying to achieve is a behavior patterns. With the other bosses, they sort of just, you know, like they were on like animations, or they like the security drone just was like a repeating pattern, and it really didn't have much variation to it. And so, you know, we're trying to expand beyond that and have a boss that reacts to your position and what you're doing, and that it just takes more time, I guess. So this is our Walrus. He has a name. I forget what name it was, but he'll do sort of jumps like this, and if you're too far away, that's all he'll do. But I need to sort of like, you know, variate that. Or you get hit with the tail, or you'll get hit with the claw that shoots like a bone spur, I guess it's supposed to be. So yeah, I don't even know if you can kill this guy yet, honestly. I'm not even too sure if we've done that. Ouch. And yeah, the problem is, like, you can stand in a certain range and just trigger attack. So we need a bit of variation here. Like, this is not too easy. Ouch. I like this move. I think we need to like have this happen more often. Have him move towards you, and then for the jump, what I want to do is have something come out from like a shockwave that you have to jump over. Those are the two things that we're working on today, I think, and then we'll probably make this guy actually something you can kill. The other thing I want to experiment with is the ability to have a bigger stage, because right now I've locked it to just the full screen. But I think it would be fun if you were able to sort of move from side to side and, you know, get some distance from this guy. So let's take a look at the shockwaves, because they're the easiest thing to do. If I just open up the scene, right? Walrus. Walrus Claws, Boss 3. What's the name of the scene? Praised Tusk. And he has a name, I think, in the description. Oh, there was something there in the description. Edit the description. 094SR. So, the hitboxes are all over the shop. Right there, I need to check those. Add that to the list of things to check. Yeah. How are we all doing today? We chilling? Split view makes it easier to multitask. I don't know what that means. Alrighty. Okay. So, shockwaves. I believe I have tail spurs, right? Walrus claws. I guess we need to create a scene for the projectiles to come out of. And I do believe that we have the art already in here somewhere. Probably under assets, right? Corrupted walrus. Projectiles. Oh yeah, here we go. Jump shockwave. This is going to come out, and just we'll work on the art later on. You know, we just got to get the mechanics going. So this is going to come out both sides when he lands, and just go in whatever direction. So we'll add a collision shape, and I guess it can be a square. That's fine. And it's probably way easier if I put this all on like the zero line, right? that. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's pretty generous. I don't think people would be mad at that. What type is this? I guess this is a... It's way easier if it's a rigid body rather than a character body, because I already have a script that comes from rigid body that I can use to sort of move things around. I just have to make sure that it has no gravity. And probably no friction either. Inertia? Is that what it is? Like how fast it slows down, right? Body's moment of inertia. This is like mass but for rotation. Oh, okay. I guess whatever. Probably make the mass like really low too, so it just sort of goes. Custom integration, velocity. Cool. Okay. And we'll call this shockwave. Might almost be worth creating like a shockwave. I'm probably going to need to add a bunch of these in different places depending on what's happening in the game. So, but for now, I think we can just use the projectile script, treat it like a projectile. I guess it's not called a projectile in this game. It's called a bullet. Bullet, enemy bullet. Is enemy bullet drive? It just uses the bullet script. I think I can use this. This is just like cues free. Like it has a timer, it has a damage successful. So like this doesn't really do anything. And I'm also remembering actually we just need to add a hitbox as well. And then add that to the hit. Well, okay, it needs to be on both actually. Add 2. And in fact, I mean, the one that is a part of the still be circular. I don't know. Have it go through everything. Like, I don't want to put it for like a collision layer. Have it not like on anything at all. And then go from there, I reckon. Because that way we like it can go through walls, I guess, but like there are no obstacles in your path, and for a shockwave I think that's fine. Like people, I don't know, I guess we'll see how people feel about that. The collision for this is the player, and we'll save this under scenes, bosses, boss 3, projectiles. Hello, welcome to the chat. I am Il Harris Moen. V Square Laptop. Hello, welcome. How are we all doing today? What are we making? We are making a Metroidvania. It's very early stages right now. I've probably been working on this for a few months at this point. Thank you for the follow, Indy. So I'll play from the start just because I haven't seen you guys in chat before. So we'll do this here. We have got the basics, essentially. We've got, you know, just a guy that can jump and shoot. Right now, I can just hold down the shoot button. I might change that to be more like in line with other shooting Metroidvanias. Random person on this earth. Hey, how's it going? And we've got very prototypey kind of enemies that attack you. Even got secret walls that you can shoot down. Not that there's anything behind them. And so the goal is to try and make a Metroidvania. I'm not sure about like the length or the size, but I just want to experiment making a bigger game, because I've been making games for like a long time and, you know, making tutorials on how to make games, but I've never made like a full game from start to finish, if that makes sense. I've always just made like a slice. So we're going to see what the plan is to create something, a couple of bosses, areas to explore, things to unlock, take it around to sort of like conventions. How can I know if there's a hidden wall? Here, I'll show you. Or if I can just drop down back to where we were. Here's a hidden wall right here that I didn't unlock. You can see like little cracks. It's all very prototypey at the moment, so this isn't final art. So you can shoot that and it'll just open. It only takes 2 hits. It's pretty easy. So yeah, it's all very early stages. And we've got a little save station here where we regenerate, and we've even got gauntlets. Like I was very inspired by Silksong's gauntlets, so we can get locked inside here and we have to fight a bunch of enemies. Oh god, he doesn't want to die. Hey, Indy, I just wanted to say first-person tutorial is amazing. Thanks so much for everything. No problems, man. I gotta work on a refresh for that, eh? It's been a couple of years since that one came out. Oh goodness, I'm getting shot at. This is the last wave. Okay, we did it. And then we've got an unlockable here, so we can stand on this, and now when I press the C key, I can dash. And then we can drop down here, we come back to the start, and come to the right. And that's pretty much the extent of the exploration that I've done at the moment. I sort of switched after this. I sort of like, I'm happy with the workflow when it comes to making a room and like encounters and secrets and all that kind of stuff. And then we can go through here. And in this room, it's just all the bosses. So we've got 3 at the moment. We've got the what would be the tutorial boss, which is just a, a very placeholdery security drone, as I'm calling it. So the premise of the game is going to be that you're in a scientific facility that's gone dark, you know what I mean? And so you've been sent to investigate what happened. And when you get there, you're met with the security AI that has gone rogue and is killing you, even though it should be protecting you. And so that is going to be the first thing that you encounter, this security drone. And I also want to like give the opportunity to change the AI so that it doesn't attack you anymore. That's the first boss. The second boss is much more difficult because I don't think this will be the second boss. It's really hard. Is dashing through the enemy without taking damage intentional? Yes, it is. So I can turn that off if I want, but I like the ability to dodge. This is a project that you will sell on Steam? If I think people like it, yeah, I think I will. It really, what I want to do is sort of like Cuphead, yes. What I want to do is sort of get to a point where I can get people to play it, like a demo, update the artwork, and see if people are interested in like following the journey. This boss is really difficult. We're gonna lock in for this one, boys. He doesn't do much at first. He sort of just like throws these out, and he'll go to the center to shoot a laser. You will play it? That's awesome. Sounds good. And then every so often he gets mad and he'll fly around the room and you have to sort of jump over him. And then, but in the next phase, he'll start moving faster. And eventually he'll also start, right now he doesn't come to the floor, but that changes, he'll start coming to the floor. And so this one's a little bit more RNG, so I'm not super stoked about it. I'd rather it be skill-based, but at the same time, I think, ouch, see, he's coming down a lot further now. Almost Mega Man-like. Yes, Mega Man is a big inspiration. Obviously, the character that I've sort of drawn as our little prototype character looks a lot like Mega Man. Over 5 out of 10 subs? Do I have subscribers on Twitch? I'd love to test it out. Yeah, for sure. I'm almost at the stage where it will be like something people can test out. Oh, I'm almost going to die on this. Okay. And you can heal sort of like Hollow Knight or Silksong. You just press a button. Right now there's no animation. It just looks like you're dying. I think I might not make it, eh? Ooh. Dude, that's brutal. There's a little bit of a bug here where he's not really supposed to be able to shoot a laser directly at you when he goes into the center. It's sort of supposed to be on a delay. But oh, that's bullshit. And I died. But you get the point. I was probably only a couple of hits off killing him. Oh, where am I? Another bug. Did it crash? The game crashed. No. Don't know about that one. I'll have to investigate it later. But right now, yeah, let's get back to the boss. Yeah, hopefully within, I reckon probably within a month, I reckon it'd be ready for testing, because I'll do the 3 bosses and then I'll build out a bit more like level stuff to play around with and switch to artwork and start working on that. What's the timeline? How long will it take to become a polished finished game? I mean, how long's a piece of string, eh? That's a pretty tough one to answer, because like as like someone who just does this as a hobby, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to work on it. So for the last week, I haven't worked on the game because I had other stuff, like I have to update the course that I have on Udemy for the update, because the engine that I use, Godot, updated to 4.6. And so there was some work that I had to do behind the scenes for other stuff. And I also have a job in real life, which is, sometimes gets in the way. So, like if we get to demo stage in the next couple of months, that's sort of like the next stopping point, right? You see if people like it. And if people do, you move on to the next stage. And after that could probably take like a year or 2, depends. But yeah. Okay, shockwave. This is pretty easy, I think. I have to connect the signals for area damage. You know, it'd be cool if I just do an already here. This is going to throw errors, but it will save me time when I'm creating more bullets later on, where I can just say on damage area, damage successful, key free, on body entered. On body entered. That's the function. We want the signal. Body entered? Yeah. Dot connect callable on body entered in the ready function, so I don't have to do that. That one I think gets called from the thing that it hits, and that one, well, there's no timer on this. Should I put a timer on this? I guess I should probably make these go away after a little bit, right? How long should they go for? Like 5 seconds, and then they'll disappear, and we can do like a little animation later on. That looks weird. Scene global? Signals. Oh, okay. On timer timeout, and we connect that, and that'll work. Mr. Sparkle. Hey, welcome. Hey, Mr. Sparkle. I recognize that username. A founder? Where have I seen that username before? Ah, yes. Yes. Hang on a second. Wait. How's your game going? Did you try updating the FPS controller, or no? Because I said that it doesn't look good for the FPS controller going to 4.6. That's right. You should send me a DM. And if you want, we can take a look at your project. I'm still on 4.5, yeah. I've got it down. So one of the things that I noticed in my project is that the animations like don't work. Like, I don't know what it is. Like something changed. And so even though the animations did work, now they don't. The IK stuff we can fix. IK is super easy, super fixable, but the animations broke and I don't know why. And I've got to reanimate everything, which is going to take some time. But if you want to like hook me up with the latest build, we can take a look and see if maybe it was just my project and not yours. Procedural animations or the baked one? The baked ones. Procedural animations are fine. It's actually way easier than I realized because of the way that I did it. And I guess this just goes back to like components versus like the way you design a system. Because we're moving targets around, once we set up the new IK, the new IK is also just linked to those targets. And so once we set up the new IK, all that procedural stuff still works. It's just the baked animations for some reason broke. So I don't know why. Where's the project? I'm going to show you. Actually, I don't know if you've seen my quick to project list. Save and close. Where is FPS Pro? Slight detour. This was an asset pack that you could buy, but I'm no longer selling it because 4.6 broke it. So like the arm, the way that it looks, and then this, like the hand just floating. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like his hand is open. I've actually managed to fix everything else so that it goes into the center of the screen, like when you aim down sight. But like, I don't know why his arm does that. Everything else seems to work fine, although the weapons are visible. But yeah, the hand on the AR doesn't work for some reason. The FPS controller, it's no longer listed. I delisted it after this update because I didn't want people buying it. Because it's not going to work for because people would just be like, oh, it's not for 4.6. They'd be like, yeah, don't use 4.6. It's not working. And it's going to take a long time to fix because I have to reanimate everything and I'm not a very good animator. Amazing once it's fixed. Yeah, it'll work for sure. Quit the project list. Yes, can you show it? I'm really confused. Sorry. Users in chat. I don't know. I changed the sub only mode. Can you turn it off? I clicking buttons over here. Disabled. It said that I had a subscriber. Sparkly. Are you still subscribed? I didn't see a notification. Either way. I worry sometimes when I get those notifications and I don't see and I can't like properly credit people. On body entered. Okay, so that's good to go. So we just need to, I'm pretty sure that's fine. Let's just double check the enemy bullet. We've got a hitbox and we've got 2 signals connected, area entered. Oh, this is the hitbox. Oh. Okay, don't forget to connect signals. So the hitbox we need to connect on damage area, on damage successful. Okay, this one here. And the area entered to itself. I think that's already the case though, right? No, but I also changed this script. No, I didn't. Damage successful emit. So that just gets connected to that. Sorry to derail you. The Mega Man Metroidvania looks fun. Looking forward to playing it. Why are we in sub mode? We're not anymore. I changed it back. I'm trying to work out. I got a notification saying that I was like on my sub goal, and I was like, I don't have any subscribers, but now it says I do, and I was like trying to click buttons to figure out who that was, but I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Sparkle because it says Prime Gaming next to his name. Tier 1, subscribe for 2 months. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I can just click your name and then I can see that information. All right, I got a little nod off. Thank you so much for the follow, Spaceballs 3000. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Twitch noob. Sorry. I know much more about YouTube than I do about Twitch. Although YouTube streaming is kind of like a bit of a a mysterious thing as well. Like you really don't get much information about what's happening. Like I'll get notifications like when a subscriber has entered the chat and stuff like that. But it's like, I get confused because I'm like, did that person just subscribe or did they just enter the chat? It doesn't say. It just gives me like a notification. I'm too much of a boomer. Okay, signals are different, eh? Do I need to connect signals to this? Why do I have signals on area body? They're just like on body entered. Okay, so that. Oh, they're both connected to that. That's weird. But whatever. Either way, YouTube streaming is useful as it doesn't delete VODs as far as... No, they're still there. Although, like, it depends on the content you make, I think. Like, if you're making, like, a podcast or something like that, the VOD system and the way it works is really good. Because it can stay as a finished video. But for, like, a stream like this, I feel like it's less so... Like, you could probably delist these. It wouldn't matter. They only get, like, a couple of hundred views. But yeah, they're there, I guess, if people want to watch them. They come up. Much easier to find. They don't get deleted or anything like that. And damage on body entered. Connect. And okay, so I'm getting distracted. We need to add that it has continuous CD. Cast ray, I guess. Contact monitor. Max contents is 2. That's fine. That's plenty. Okay, so I think this has everything it needs. Let's just check the hitbox collision. 1.5. Okay, that's fine. It really doesn't need to be on 1. So, but Crazed Tusk is back, and now when we land, we need to spawn something or other. And so we've got a function here called spawn tail spurs, which I'm going to steal for our landing thingo, and we'll just call it spawn shockwaves. No capital, please. Okay, and then we can just go shockwave. Okay, and then this is going to want a thingo, like a scene. I can never code while streaming. I can barely stay focused as it is. I actually find it's pretty hard because you know, like you click off when you're not streaming, you might like do a little bit of code, maybe watch something, do something else, like respond to like a Facebook message or like, you know, someone sending you a message or whatever. But like when you're streaming, you're like completely locked in. You have to continuously talk about what you're doing. You can't get distracted, and that's actually pretty hard. Like it depends on like your fortitude. Like I see people stream for like 9 hours, man. I don't know how you do it, you know? Like that's a lot. I don't want assets, I want scenes, boss 3. Or is called shockwave up here. Drop that in. And we go like this. I don't know how people can stream longer than 2 hours. Yeah, it's tough, man. I do what, like 3, 2.5, and I feel like that's a lot. Rubber ducky coding, yeah, it is a bit like that, but at the same time, it's very draining. I don't know how people go longer than 2 to 3 hours. It's my limit. I've like had this idea. It's like, oh, stream for like, you know, a whole day and see how it goes. You know, like maybe you get more viewers or like whatever. Like, because Twitch, especially Twitch, not so much YouTube, but Twitch especially rewards the amount of time you spend streaming. So that is something that it crosses your mind if you want. I mean, I'm not super like keen on streaming as like my main thing, but I'll do it because I'm working on the project anyway, and it's a way to like sort of interact with the community and stuff like that. But if you wanted to be a streamer, you'd have to do it like a long time, because it is something that gets like, the more you do it, the longer you do it, the more you have. This isn't right. Tail spur, spur marker, shockwave. Okay, so we need to say where to spawn this. Okay, I guess we need to create some markers. I love markers. I use them a lot. Whether or not that's a good thing, I couldn't really tell ya. Just a way for me to know where things are gonna go. Which is fine if you know it needs to be in the same place. I guess what I would say about markers is if you want it to be consistent. So I want it to be in this spot every single time. Like using a marker is really handy for that. But if you need it to change dynamically with like whatever, then you need to probably do it with programming. But, you know. Okay. Swipe marker, spawn marker. See, like I've got a swipe marker. I think that could probably just be like programmatically done. I don't know. A bit of an odd one. Maybe I need to take a look at that. But these need to be like left and right. And what I want to do is put this guy in the landing position. Land. Penguin life. Thank you. We hopefully will get something going where this boss is sort of like close to completion. We've got a couple more things to go. Okay, so this shockwave I reckon needs to be closer to where the arms hit. Something like there. And then just have them go out in either direction from the walrus. Generally speaking, you're going to be on the tail side because of that. Like he only does a jump when you're like the furthest you can be from him. So like, generally, like you probably get away with just putting it on the tail, but I guess there is a possibility that you might like bait him to jump into the middle, maybe. I don't know. I also need to like make it so that you what is it like, so that he doesn't do the same action more than once, you know what I mean? Okay, so okay, left and right, we've got the shockwave markers. We can go back to the state of the landing state, and we've got shockwave marker 2, and I guess I haven't seen a stream before since Christmas. How's it going? Yeah, good. I guess YouTube is weird like that, doesn't always recommend, but we've been on. I've been a little bit distracted with the update for 4.6, so we're just getting back into the game dev stuff. Because I was making content, I guess you would say. I had to update the course, I had to update a bunch of other stuff. So we're back now and we can start working on the game again, which is good. Okay, so spur marker would be shockwave marker. But how do we know which one to spawn at? We're going saying like, oh, you know, flip. But realistically, we want to spawn this no matter which way he's facing. And so we can just go shockwave instantiate, and then we can spawn 1. We kind of need to spawn 2. So we might need to duplicate this guy and then add. Can you just, after you've instantiated, does it get weird if you like just add it to 2 different things? I wonder. I guess we'll find out. We can call it twice and pass in the marker. Point. The marker 3D. I'm spelling that really wrong. And then set the point here. Value of type, vector position. Cannot be assigned to variable of type vector 2. Huh? Oh, it's a 3D. I forget sometimes that I'm working in 2D now. So I've been working in 3D for so long. Okay. Spawn the shockwave. So I guess we create another function. spawn shockwaves. And then we will go spawn shockwave. Oh, I suppose we also need a direction too. They're going to be the same no matter what. So this marker, it doesn't matter which way we're facing. The one on the negative side needs to be negative. So that's spawn marker 1 is in the minus X and spawn marker 2 is in the positive X. So note that down. I'm going to forget in 5 seconds. We'll go with a direction. Vector 2. Okay, so spawn shockwave, and it is minus X for number 1. So we'll go with a vector 2 of -1, 0, and the point will be shockwave 1, shockwave marker, and then we'll call the function again, and this time it'll be positive in the X direction, and it will be shockwave marker 2. A couple of magic numbers. It's not the best code, but let's just see. Okay, so now we've got the direction. We actually need to set the velocity. I'm just realizing now that I've stolen the wrong function. What I really wanted to steal was the shoot projectile one. But that's fine, because now we can just set the linear velocity like this in the direction that we specified. I suppose I could have worked out mathematically the distance with the direction, but like it's just easier. Hard-coded. It'll work for sure. Can you change it? With difficulty. So the shockwave, since it is, this says no 2D, but this is actually a bullet. All right, and so now we can go shockwave dot linear velocity is equal to, let's just give it a random speed, like 100. We should put that as a variable. Let's try to be good, at least somewhat. Float. I think this is probably one of the easiest ways to get like tripped up. Is like very often I find myself now I'm working on like a bigger project, sort of trying to get stuff working, and like for the smaller stuff, for the smaller stuff, it's very easy to sort of just put it all down and get it working and then come back and do like a once over. But with this, it's like, once it's done, you sort of just move on to the next thing. And then if you have to come back to it, it's like, ooh. And it feels bad, man, sometimes. Try to be mindful of that. I think I slip up most when I'm trying to design something more complicated. Like the bosses are very, like it's tricky. You know, like I did the save system and I felt really good about it. But yeah, the bosses, not so much. Okay, shockwave speed multiplied by the direction. Okay. That should really be all you need. We need to trigger this. I feel like once you like trigger this, land left, when we enter into this state, like it really, you can just like call this function. You don't need to wait for like any kind of animation. It triggers straight away. Like I don't believe, like if I look at the land, it's a 1 second animation, but like it's straight away, it's 1 frame. So I think we just trigger that. I don't know how it's going to look. I am skeptical. He'll jump straight away, because that's just the first thing he does. Yeah. Always, yeah. Invalid access to global position on base object type null. What's null? The point? Point. Why would it be null? Shockwave object Point shockwave marker. Well, one of these is null because I renamed it. Redo. Classic. Okay, we all like music clashing. We'll fix that in a second. Let's just see if he does this. Yep. It probably needs to go faster, eh? And it does do damage. Ouch. Okay. Oh, we've got a lot of errors. Signal body entered is already connected. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. We can test for that, right? So like get rid of this error. If body dot entered is connected to callable on body entered, then return. Okay. That should work. Now, so two things I noticed. These aren't on the 0. They're a little bit off the floor. So let's see if we can fix that. I think realistically, they just need to come down to whatever the floor line is for him. Probably in line with this, right? Because that's where he's going to hit. I didn't think we subjected... Oh, we do actually subject this guy to gravity. About there. Honestly, it could be a little bit below. Yeah. And then we just push that out. What is that? 22. Two pixels. And I feel like the speed was way too low. Land. I want to bump this up to like 500. It needs to be fast. Here we go. Oh, that's too quick probably. But it is now, it's like, okay, you have to, that is way too fast. 300. Okay. That's fine. You don't want to stand too close to it, that's for sure. Maybe it's not fine. Okay, so now I just need to make him do... I need to make him move when he does this move because, like, obviously it's non-threatening when he's not coming towards you. Like, you'd have to stand underneath him, which you're never going to do, right? Because I have a range projectile. Like, why am I even standing here? But, like, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Like, if he jumps, you could... like go through that and then end up here. I don't know why, but like it's just a move. If you get too close to them, that's what he does. Ouch. Oh look, I'm underneath him. Yeah, so it depends on your playstyle. Like if you have a tendency to jump, then you might not see that move very much. But if you're dodging through stuff and ending up close to the enemy, he's gonna do it. But I want him to follow you when he does it so that he like pursues you. So there is the, what's that move called? Tusk attack. Okay, so we only want him to move when he's in the, I only want him to move when he's in the up. So he should only move, actually it would probably make more sense like on the downward strike to move, right? So like he's like going forward with that head motion, I feel like. So in the animation player, we're gonna be able to know what that is. Tusk attack. And we can even see here at 1 second, for 0.2 seconds, we are in like in a downward motion. So if this has been asked already, but what game engine is this? This is the Godot game engine. So if you don't know me, I'm Isaac from Chaff Games, and I make content around the Godot game engine. Feels weird that I've got people asking that. not used to having new people in here. But hey, welcome in. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to make games and look at making a game, Godot is a really good game engine for that. It's free and open source. It's very lightweight, and you can do a lot with it. You can make 3D games, you can make 2D games. I don't think you can make 4D games, but hey, we're in the realm. You can make VR games, anything really. Anything you set your mind to, you can do with this engine, which I really like. Because it is completely open sourced. So if you can think it and you know how to do it, then you can do it. And it's the programming language is so easy to pick up. I'm not a programmer. I'm just a guy. I'm just an accountant by day, game developer by night, you know? And I've managed to learn how to use it. All right. Yeah, so I reckon in this 1 to 1.2, what's the language? It's called GD script. It's like that's the only, I would say, the major disadvantage of Godot is the programming language it uses is only for its own system. So you're not going to pick up additional skills here. Obviously, my personal feeling is like, if you know how to code, then you can code in any language because like the principles are the same. It's just about learning the syntax. You can use other programming languages with Godot, anything you want, really. That's the beauty of it. So you can use C++, C#, Golang, probably. Rust, there's definitely a Rust build. You have to go GD native, I think it's called. It's like a separate thing. And people make them. People make these builds for the different language. Is it a typed language? It's whichever you want. So I've got in the editor settings, or is it in the project? So the way I set it up is in the debug, untyped declaration, I've got it set to warn. You can either have it ignore or you can have it error. So you can force it to use type. You can have it just tell you. I prefer warn because there is sometimes a situation where you might not want to use typing, but I do type. So I do try to put the typing in because it's just easier. I feel like when you're designing something to know in the back of your head, hey, this is a certain type that you need to keep track of. But at the same time, you can not do that. Girik Dev, do I remember you? Yes, I do. I do remember you. Girik is here. My minimal C++ and C# will hopefully do something. Yeah. I don't even know. I've never experimented with GD native, but it is like pretty good, I think. C# is the second most supported language. For sure. But I know that GD native means that you can do anything you want. But I'm just going to double check because I don't want to talk out my butt. GD native is a Godot specific technology that lets the engine interact with shared libraries at runtime. You can use it to run native code without compiling it in the engine, with the engine, I should say. GD native is not a scripting relation, it has no relation to GD script. You can use both GD native and C++ modules. Can you choose type warnings? Type warnings on only some files? No, I think it's everything. It's global, unfortunately. That's why I only have mine set to warning, because like if you set it to error, it becomes like, okay, I have to like, anytime you forget to do it, it's like the game won't run and you have to go back and set it. And then occasionally that's really inconvenient for you. Integrate third-party libraries into Godot. I don't know. Okay, so you've got like the bindings below developed and maintained by the... Okay, so the supporting languages are C++ and C. That's kind of cool. I've always wanted to learn C. And then there's bindings below for D, Kotlin, Nim, Python, and Rust. Okay. So they're community maintained. So if you wanted to write a game in Python, I guess you could. Python's not really good for that kind of stuff, I don't think. That's my understanding, but you could do it in Kotlin. Which is nice, I guess. How many stars? Let's see. We've got 508. Which one's more popular? Python? 2.1k. Yeah, people like Python, right? GD script and Python are really similar. So like generally You can pick one up if you know the other. Heavy refactoring to support Godot 4, which is totally incompatible with the current code base. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, bit of a distraction. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, warnings aren't a big deal. I got a lot of warnings here. Parameter delta is never used. So like, it's getting mad at me. I don't even know what script this is. I need to put an underscore there because I'm not using that parameter. The method set animation player is not present on the inferred type. Yeah, I knew Python and I got a hang of GDScript because of it. Yeah, before I started using Godot, I was familiar with a few other languages because I was trying to learn how to make games with Unity. So I knew a little bit of C# and I had learnt some Python here and there because I really wanted to learn how to program. And then eventually I found Godot because I was trying to switch to Linux for my main computer. I'm on Windows right now, but on a daily basis, I like to use Linux. And obviously Unity and Unreal are kind of hard to run, but Godot is open source, so it runs on Linux. In fact, it's Linux first, so it's like more supported. Well, they run both the same, but like it's developed on Linux. So like I know it's working, it's running natively, all that kind of stuff. There's no tricks, you just download it. And so like I had to learn that, and it actually was one of the first languages to really click for me. I know a little bit of Python because I use it at work occasionally. Even in finance, it has its applications. And I've used a lot of JavaScript, believe it or not, in my time as an accountant. Sometimes, if you're lucky, the accounting software will let you program. And the one that I was lucky enough for that to be used JavaScript. But it was like a subset, and I don't think that skill is going to carry over, but it's still nice. Okay, so we want this guy to follow. Okay, so we could have like a function call here. Actually, I think we could set a variable to true. You know, that would work. Just set the variable to true. In this moment. So 1, variable's true, variable's false. Variable's true, variable's false. That would work. We could also, we could go off the collision shape, but yeah. If the collision shape is on, then you can move. No, I think I'll do a variable. Okay, so task attack. So we're gonna create a variable. Move. Can move is fine. And it's equal to false by default. And then here, I'm gonna add a property track. And it will be a property from Tusk Attack. The property will be state.unlocked. Does it have to be an export variable? Exported variable? Save that. Property. Task attack. Can move. There it is. Hello, Xylenex. Xylenex? How do you say that? Do you say the X's in your name? Welcome to the stream. Insert key here. So that's fine. And then we can just insert the key every frame. Can I turn snapping on? Well, I can actually snap to these. And I'm just going to put these in. And that last one as well. Okay, so now I can just say Xylenex. Okay. Python they taught at school and Unity didn't work on my laptop. Now I get a new laptop, I just want to use Godot. Yeah. I like Godot, man. It's like one of those things. For me, I don't think as long as I'm making games, I can't see myself using another engine. It's just fresh. Hey, hope I'm having a good Tuesday. I am. Thank you. I hope you're having a good... It'd probably be Tuesday for you too, right? Right? It's pretty late in the day for me, so I'm assuming it's Tuesday morning. Come here. 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. All right. Okay, so we've got state completed. Right. So we're going to set this to true. Well, let's go back to 2D so we can actually see. Okay, so this is task down. So we say yes. I'm wrestling myself through JavaScript to make FM matrix synth. Yeah, the stuff you share in the Discord like blows my mind. I'm like, dude, what is going on? I can't even fathom. It looks cool though. Sounds better. Sounds really good. FM matrix synth. It's like, I'm just gonna pretend like I know what that means. And I did music for years. I don't know what that means. I suppose I played guitar. I didn't do the beeps and boops on the computer. It's different. More complicated, I reckon. But then, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you play instruments, Xilinx. But like, in my mind, like, programming music with like MIDI and stuff like that is harder than like just picking up the guitar and like, you know, because like that's pretty straightforward for me, you know, but like maybe it's different for other people. Maybe if you're like a keyboardist, I don't know. Okay, so can move is true. True. Happy, happy, happy. So now what we can do is during the state update, okay, so first we need to update the target, right? I kind of do. I mean, I have a MIDI keyboard, but I still use the typing keyboard because the keys are smaller and closer together. Interesting. Yeah, actually that's a really interesting point because I hate using the keyboard. Check general chat for what I mean. Shout out to the Discord. You can join it in the chat, in the description. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I recognize this kind of setup with the knobs. Like I see this like when you've got like a VST or whatever. But yeah. Is that Reaper? Do I see Reaper? Is this the Reaper UI? Okay, target, check for target. Okay, so now we've got an update. It's funny because we're calling stop. So now we can say if can move. Yeah, Reaper.js. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've been a Reaper user for like years since I started making music. So like, I mean, I played guitar since I was a kid, but like when I was like, so 10 years ago, just about, I like had a quarter life crisis and I was like, man, when I was like a teenager, I wanted to like make an album and write music and I never do that. And if I don't do it now, I'm never going to have the chance because I'm like 25. And then like I went crazy and I wrote like a whole album and I would use Reaper to do the whole thing. It was great. It was not good music, but the you know, the system was good. If can move, then move. I have a function for that, right? Grounded emotion, move. That's a W. It took 2 years to make the album, and it was pretty mediocre. But you had this mind, it paid off, yeah. Like make music. The problem, yeah, music is like, it's very fun to make. I do enjoy it. The problem is it's noisy. Electronics, I guess, fine because it's just in your head. But like with guitars and singing and stuff, it's not easy to do in a house. Can move. You know, your music's really good. Direction is gonna be, I'm gonna need to get the direction. So put a pin in that. How do I guess I gotta get the target so I can just get direction. Do I have a function? Direction, clock direction, get navigation direction. No, we don't want that. Direction is a vector 2 is equal to target dot global position dot direction to enemy dot global transform global position. Follower goal met. 230 out of 230. Awesome. I'm wrestling. Wait, did someone follow? I didn't get a notification. Spaceballs followed 36 minutes ago. Okay, fine. I'm wrestling with storing note information and volume information in the registers. It's doing everything but that. The yellow and green highlighted are meant to store things. I see. Oh. You know, now that you say that, is that a memory register? Dude, that's cool. I didn't recognize it at first. Oh. Oh, Garrick. Okay, cool. Anyway. Okay, so we've got the direction. So then we can move, if move, and then we pass in direction. Function moved. And then you can say else stop. I think that's all I need. The speed is data.movement speed. And what is that? Data.movement speed 100? Should we bump it up? I want it to be pretty quick. Because he's only going to do it when he pecks you. Okay. Let's have it a go. See if we can get him to attack. So if I just run right up to him, he'll do it. Ouch. Oh, he went the wrong way. Okay, well, we can fix that. That's funny. Okay, well, no, it works. This is probably round the wrong way. I do this sometimes. Enemy.global position.direction to. Yeah, I had that back to front. Get rid of that. Yep. Okay, that is exactly what I want. He goes, okay, that is not what I want, but that is what I want him to do, but I don't want him to do it and go backwards. That's not right. Okay, so let's see. We need to, okay, you know what it is? Ouch. 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 He's going to go away from us because the direction is always going to be... So I need to flip it. Wait, that... Actually, no, I don't know if I agree with that. Why would it be... It should be always going towards him. Wait, what the hell? Okay, so let's bait him out to come over this side. What is that thing which attacking is looks weird? Yeah, he's not coming over here. which is attacking. It looks weird. It is meant to be a walrus that is like crazy. Okay, so he works in that direction. It did work in that direction, but he's not consistently doing that. Damn, that is way too much. And now he comes back this way, which is so funny. It is like moral of what I want to see, like him pursuing you. I think probably it needs to be shorter, because he goes too far, and then also like something weird with the direction that is not working properly. He should look where he currently is standing. He only turns around. When does he turn around? He only gets an opportunity to turn around. That's a good question. The state machine, idle. When does he turn around? Okay, so we got play. Okay, roll a tail attack, which is 100%. It's funny. Check direction. Okay, so here's what happens. At the end of the action, so when he does something, he'll look to see if he's still facing you. And if he is, he'll just continue on. But if he isn't, what he's meant to do is actually check to see if he can hit you with a tail attack. And that's not always 100%. So basically, we're going to get the distance. We're going to check the range threshold. And if you're in range, then right now there's a 100% chance because I was testing. I probably need to turn that into a variable. Tail attack chance. This should all be turned into data, I suppose. Let's just make it like 60%. So there's a 60% chance. And then we replace that 100 with this. That there. Okay, so there's a 60% chance that there is a possibility. Oh, actually, I don't know if that's like how that would work. If random chance is greater than 0. Sus. That's definitely not how that works. Okay, so not 60%, but like we roll between 1 and 60, and if it's not 0, then it doesn't a tail attack. So it's probably way more likely to do a tail attack than not. Anyway, the point is it does a tail attack, and after it does a tail attack, it'll turn around, or it'll just turn around. One of the two. So the problem is after he does the tusk attack, he's not checking that. He's just doing another tusk attack, which is really strange. So let me just think about the flow. It could be to do with where I'm standing, because I'm getting hit and he's moving forward. So I'm standing underneath him. And a lot of these checks are based on your distance to him. And so if I let him do that and then I like go, yeah. See, that's the thing. I only want to check the direction. Okay, so here I've got it worked out. First of all, we definitely only want to check the direction before we do the attack, and then we don't update it. So he only goes in that direction. He doesn't change. So he's off on a tusk attack, and if you jump over him or if you dodge through him, he just keeps going in that direction. That's going to work a lot better. And then as for the pecking backwards stuff, that's not right. He shouldn't do that. He should do something else, basically. He's not facing you. He should be checking to see if he can do a tail attack and then turn around. Okay. In the state machine for the tusk attack, this direction check needs to happen on the enter. And I guess I need to make this a public variable or whatever you call it. Like that. That is not right. Yeah. Okay, so that is that. Pretty easy stuff. Should alleviate some of the issues, but then the whole part where he just goes through you is kind of weird. That's not right. Come on. Happy deving, thank you. Enjoy your shift or whatever you do. And so now he's not coming towards me. So this direction I think is bugged. Okay. Ouch. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't come that way. Why would that be the case? Is the direction where is the enemy? I would assume that, let's just do a print. A sneaky print. Never hurt anybody. What's the time? Oh, we've got plenty of time. Okay. Okay. Well, gonna have to do it again. It's negative here. And it's positive here, but so theoretically, this really shouldn't be an issue. Like, he should just go the other way. I wonder why he's not. So it's not like there's a problem with the... How does move work? Move towards velocity.x, data.movement speed direction.x. He gets stuck until he has to jump. Yeah, you know what it is? I believe he has velocity. He has velocity. It just, we don't know because we're not calling move and slide. Because of the way the state machine works is it's calculating velocity, and here it emits a signal to the boss enemy, to the character 2D, and we call we set the velocity variable on the character 2D, and then we call move and slide in the physics process. So what I suspect is happening is that we've actually got some latent velocity that when we're like trying to go the other way, it's not working because it's still trying to fight against the other velocity and decelerate. So what I think is probably best is we can set a function here to exit. Now, I don't think it's in the character body. It's probably in this. So I'm going to set the velocity variable here to be equal to vector 2.0 on our exit state. Just because I think that could be it. Direction gets set here. I think that's fine. So direction's working correctly. Is there anything else? Can move is set to false before it exits. That's fine. Yeah, I reckon it has something to do with that. So let's see. Ouch. Nope. Okay. What about... So what we can do is we can actually go to remote, have a look at some of the variables that are being calculated here. Under encounter, boss encounter, here he is here. So his velocity, is it going to be listed here? Knockback speed, death effect is not loaded. Position set visible. Oh, yeah. Where's velocity? Is that not displayed here? Okay, well that's fine. We can just come here and print the velocity, I guess. It's okay, it's not calculating. Nothing's coming through. Task attack. If can move, move. I'm guessing this is also not printing. Like if I print off velocity here, it's just going to be 0 as well. If can move? Oh! I know. There's 2 animations. It's actually separate animations. One for left and one for right. Because it just be like that. Task attack left. How could I forget? I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest, but I also couldn't think of anything else. In terms of like flipping the sprite and then playing the animation, but also making sure the hitboxes go to the right spot. Because I would need to like flip them. I think the answer is like setting the hitbox's position via code is not optimal. And like I said, I haven't said this stream, but something that is the reason I'm doing a project like this is to learn more about like creating complex things like enemies and bosses and all those kind of stuff that you don't really get to do when you're just making tutorials or small games. So like, yeah, I don't know about using the animation player for that because I did have to create a left and a right animation, and I don't know, probably easier if it was just one animation, right? Property track, task attack, can move. So I actually want this to be, and I'm going to change it on the other one too. So you have 2 animations for both directions of movement. Yeah. So basically this one here, you can see he's not facing the direction because I'm actually flipping him programmatically, but the hitbox for the collision is over this side and it's getting triggered. I think what you could do is probably just have like 2 hitboxes and have them get turned on depending on whether or not the character is flipped. I don't know. It is questionable design, if you ask me. This is the first time I've tried this, and I can't say I'm happy with it. But it's a process of learning, isn't it? Am I going to change it? Not today. Maybe on the next boss. This one's almost done. Yeah, it's like on the next one I won't use this design principle. Because I don't like it. And for the sake of making them the same, okay. All right, he should move in both directions now. Come at me. Yep, sweet as. Now that feels a lot more like a boss. Ouch. The only issue I have now is that if I stand here, he just does this attack. He doesn't do like multiple attacks. He just does the same thing over and over again because I'm too far away for a task attack and too close to jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set a rule to say that you can't do the same thing twice. Because I think you shouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? So, in the AI, what we're doing here is very much, we are, where is it? Distance score. Okay, so we're setting a score for the distance, and I want to expand on having more than just the distance be the variable here. But right now it is just the distance. So the task attack is if you're closer. Oh shit, I gotta charge my phone. Hang on a second. What's wrong? Angela is pulling a concerned face. Can't really see her eyes from there. Oh, it broke the camera. We're back. She's looking up at me like, what are you doing? Oh, there she is. Just relaxing. Just chilling. She used to like coming in here. Now I feel like she wants to leave all the time. I never clock what she wants. Okay, so yeah, it's just about distance, but also when we are choosing the action, his jump should be more impactful. Like it feels like balloon. Do you reckon it should be falling faster, or maybe I'm gonna add some screen shake? We can have him go up slow, but when he comes down, like come down faster. I'm actually, now that you say that, there is a fall state, but I'm not using it, which is kind of funny. We're just going jump and it's consistent velocity. So I did this jump a little bit different from what I normally do. I just have jump gravity. I don't have full gravity. So I have to split those out and then test his position to change which one I use. So we can get jump gravity and we can get full gravity. Okay, so jump time. Where am I setting that? That's just a variable up here. Full time. So right now it's 2 seconds for the entire thing. So let's just make that 1 and then make this like 0.6. You know? And then for the full gravity, we just go so full time. Jump height's the same, and we return not full gravity. Full gravity, full gravity. Okay, and then we just need here, where we are updating the gravity, we are passing in the gravity. So what we want to do is just here we say if velocity y, it's negative, right? Negative is up. Is that correct? I always forget in 2D. It's like back to front. Yeah. So if your velocity is positive, then you are falling. I'm like, If it's 0, so we can check that once it goes into positive territory, then we change over to the different gravity. In theory, without using a full state, if velocity dot y is greater than or equal to 0, then or do we go less than? Then use get jump gravity, right? Else, we do LF, update gravity, get full gravity, right? And theoretically, that's just an else statement. Doesn't need to be if. And then we check also if velocity is equal to 0, then we go to land state. And then the only thing is this jump time, this is not correct. So it's actually jump velocity is just jump time, not jump time divided by 2, because it's only the half of the arc that we need to worry about anyway. I believe That's all you have to do for that. Could be wrong. We'll see in a second. Time to find out. When we hit the ground, can we add a shake? Yes, very easily. Wait, we want him to jump. Okay. That is not right. He's getting way too much upward velocity. Dude, what did I do? The jump velocity is way too high. Do I have to have both? That probably makes more sense. What is it in the player? I always forget my function. Player data. State machine data? Let's play a state machine data. Get velocity. Get jump velocity. Get jump velocity. Time to jump apex. That is just the time to jump apex, which is the jump time in this case. So I'm not really sure why that was so high. Everything is broken. Gravity? No, that really doesn't make sense. 2 times jump height. Damn, what the hell? What the hell have we got going on here? This is not the right function. Get gravity. 2 times jump height. Time to jump apex. Is that function wrong? That's jump gravity. Two times jump height. Okay, that function is 1 for 1. Velocity divided by jump time. That is not correct anymore. This needs to be jump time plus fall time, because we want the total time for the speed that the boss goes. So that definitely needs to change. I don't see how that would change how fast it goes up, but maybe I'm not thinking hard enough. Okay, well, he definitely hits me, so that's correct. Right. Did I get a number wrong here? What's going on? Why is he in the air so long? That's way more than a second. What is the game about? The game is that you have been sent to a scientific facility that has gone dark, and it's your job to uncover what has happened. What has happened there? I don't even know yet. But there is going to be a walrus that they've been doing experiments on that is very not happy to see you. And it's going to be trying to kill you. The why I have not worked on yet. Because this velocity is like too high. The jump velocity is too high. How am I doing? I'm a bit confused splitting these out. Get full gravity. Get jump gravity, get full gravity. Hang on a second. I gotta look at this function more clearly. Okay, so we've got if velocity is less than, and we're going get jump gravity, which is jump time, return jump gravity, get full gravity. Okay, fine. Get jump velocity. All right. I got a little nut off. Thank you so much for the follow. Obscure Exinus Cold Fear. I appreciate it. Oh, that's not the right function. Get jump velocity. Oh no, it is get jump velocity, and then we pass in the gravity. Get jump gravity is correct. We only want to, when we're trying to work out the velocity, we only want the jump gravity. We don't want to take into account the fall gravity. I believe. It would be so much easier if I just used like hard-coded numbers. Why do I do it this way? I do it with the player because with the player you can get some cool effects and you can control like how high a player can jump with this technique. Oh, what about the height? The jump height is really high, 256 pixels. I am I'm making a horror game in 3D. It's hard, but it is a lot of fun. I'm glad. If you want, every month we do a community game night where you can share and I'll play them on stream and it's a bit of fun. If you want to join the Discord, you can, it's in the description. And maybe next month we can play it. This is way too much. 256 pixels? What is that? Like, that's taller than the room, right? Like, how tall is the room? Where's the room? I've got the room open. Tusk. States, world, craze task. What the hell? Okay, so, wait. Encounters. Let's have a look at this camera anchor. Encounter start point. How tall is this? This is 200 pixels tall, and it's bigger than the room. This is a problem. This size that we've decided to make him jump is the reason why he's going so high. So that's weird. Let's take a step outside and just count some of these blocks. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's the inside. I can't really tell. Because I can't see because of the flippin' collision clear navigation polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are 16 pixels, so what's that? Anyone that's quick math, or we just do it it's 144 pixels. So that's, yeah. Thank you, Girik. Almost as fast as me. Probably as fast as me with the delay. Okay. So that's wrong. Let's make the navigation map again, just in case, because I deleted that. Okay. Okay, so now we've found our problem. I think we just make this 144. I probably had to double it because of my technique where I originally set this kind of like pattern up with a jump and a fall gravity in mind, but then just got lazy and decided to make it one single number and probably needed to tweak this to make the actual jump work, I'd say. That's why it's like that. No, how dare you?
No, how dare you? I'm sleepy, but I want to keep streak for some reason. I woke up from sleep.
You woke up for the stream. I appreciate it. You can go back to sleep if you want. Okay. Still a little bit too much. Let's down this to like 110. Is he a bit floaty? You know, he sits in the air a little bit. Okay. I reckon, do we make him fall a little faster? This is my first time using Twitch, and I wanted to ask, what are channel points? Channel points are like something you accumulate as you watch and chat. And you can use them to unlock certain things like emotes, but primarily for this channel, it's mostly just for TTS. So if you want to hit me with a TTS, you can do it. It costs barely any channel points, 25. So yeah. Goosefat likes to use it to troll me a little bit, which is fun. All right, he's asleep, which is fine because it's a school night.
I probably will once Twitch gives me my streak. I'll be at 17.
17. Is that a streak? I'm a bit confused. Is that a streak with the channel or a streak just with Twitch in general? I've never even heard of a streak. I watch Twitch every day, but like I'm not even aware that there was a streak thing. God damn, I'm such a noob.
Just a test.
It's just a test. Unfortunately, YouTube, you can't do channel points on YouTube, and you can't do TTS. Yeah, maybe you can. I don't know. Like it's tough. It was hard enough to set up. Thanks to GooseFat. GooseFat helped me set it up on Twitch, which is really nice. Every channel has their own streak for how many streams you have watched without missing one. Okay. Interesting. I wonder, I need to like check tomorrow. Cool. Okay. We were doing screen shake, weren't we? And I said he should fall faster. So the fall time, I reckon, make half a second.
Triangle forklift pancake frying pan roof pipe clip.
What is this, ChatGPT? You expect it to just spit out a picture? ChatGPT doesn't do pictures, does he? What is this? What's a picture one? I don't know. I don't use AI. What is this? Google. Is it Gemini? Google Gemini?
Don't make me picture these nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, oh, Stable Diffusion. I know Stable Diffusion. I was playing around with that before AI became questionable. When the technology first came out, well, actually, that's not even true. When the technology reached the mainstream, I was playing around with Stable Diffusion and sort of like the idea of using that to generate textures for game development. But then a lot of people were pointing out like the ethics of it all. And it's like, yeah, fair point. I totally understand that. And then I stopped using it. So now I have no idea anything. I don't know anything about anything when it comes to AI. I did use ChatGPT. No, I didn't use ChatGPT. I used DeepSeek, the Chinese one, to help me do like a channel promo that I had to read for like the course. I had to do like 10 different versions. What are those emojis? It's like a gun. My Zach scream. Okay. Oh, screen check. That's easy. So land. So when we land, we can actually just go, is it game state dot shake? No, it's the signal manager. Actually, we can do a screen shake with the signal manager. Signal manager dot camera feedback requested. And then dot emit. And it takes arguments. But what arguments? I don't know. Because I've forgotten. And there is a camera in every room. Camera rig.
Good night. Don't forget to pancake the forklift on the roof floor with a fire in the attic.
Indeed, I will. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Have a good sleep. Regans, LLMs. Yeah, LLMs. I don't know. What's a GAN? I haven't heard that term before. I know large language model. Okay, on-camera feedback requested.
I will try.
Nice. Amount, duration, and speed. Those are the three things we need. So when we land, we need to do an amount. Let's just go with 100. Duration, 0.1, and speed. What do I do when I take damage? Where's the player? I don't know. What are good numbers for this? I should have just a default that you don't have to pass any arguments in. Generate adversarial networks. What is generate stable diffusion? Oh man, this must be a new thing. I haven't heard of this. Generate adversarial networks? Google. Oh, I was looking at Stable Diffusion years ago. You know what I mean? Gans. Although, like, when I say that, I wasn't like developing it. I was just using it. Uses a generator and discriminator for rapid one-pass synthesis. Huh. Maybe I forgot. I don't know.
I hate it when I have to reopen a code and take 15 minutes to understand what I was going to do and understand what flow I was going.
It's true. It is literally like, I haven't touched this for a couple of months. How do I... It's like, I can do a screen shake. It's so easy. Underlining tech to Stable Diffusion. That's cool. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can do a screen shake. It's easy. And then it's like, what are the numbers I should use? I don't even know. Player. Signal manager on player grounded. 200. I go 20.2 300. That seems to be a number when I take damage. 100 would have been too much. Okay, let's just make it a little bit more though. We're gonna add that to like a bunch of stuff. Stable Diffusion stole data from Laon as one data set. Yeah, they're all thieves. That's the problem with it all. It pisses me off because it's like, there's a correct way to do this. Like you could have, like in theory, you could have an image generator done ethically. Even then, it's still a little bit like questionable because like I have a big issue with the way that it sort of takes away from people's work. And also like I find it sucks the joy out of like creation. Like I'm somewhat bitter about AI because it's like, it's really taken this role where it's like taking away all the fun stuff in life. You know what I mean? Like have it do the boring shit. And it's like, no, apparently it's just going to make games because that came out like last week with, I think it's called Genie or something like that. It's going to make games. It's going to do all the art and make all the music. And it's like, bro, that's the stuff I want to do. I don't want to work. Make it do finance and I'll stay home and make games. I have to go study for board exams. That sounds really important. So good luck with that. Oh, that doesn't look great, right? Okay, it's definitely shaking screens. That's awesome. Genie won't do multiplayer, okay. Nice. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put that in a bunch of places, like in the tail attack. Like literally right after it's done. So animation enter, play tail left. And when it's finished, we do, oh, actually when we do the spurs, we want to shake the screen when we spawn them. And when we do a swipe, we probably don't need to do one. And when we do a tusk attack, for sure, we want to do one on every downward hit. And this one, I suppose we can just say, we don't want to do it in a frame check. So we can't do it in the state update. So what we probably want to do is to create another function here called tusk down or just something like that. I don't know. Signal multiplier, camera feedback. And then here in the animation player, oh, that's not quite right. Closing parentheses. Oh, I got that. Yeah, okay, I see what I did. And then here in the tusk attack, again, we're back here. Don't forget, we got two of them. We're going to do a filter for a core method track, and it'll be on the tusk attack. And here, wherever we have those ticks, we're going to call insert key tusk down. And then we can just duplicate. What editor? I am using Godot, the Godot game engine. Yeah, that's correct. And I don't know It's probably one of, like, personally, it's my favorite game engine. That's why I use it. It's very good. It's very versatile. I've used it to make 3D and 2D. In my last game is 3D. I add a node between the camera node and camera. The camera moves around and the sacrificial node does the shaking. Yes, 4.6 it is. Yeah, so I do the same thing, Bone Circuit, not with this particular... Actually, yeah, even with this, like if we look at the camera rig, we actually have the camera rig, the offset controller, and then the camera. Now, I believe I do actually do the shaking directly on the camera because in 2D, I'm doing that with the offset, right? I'm shaking... When I shake the camera, get noise effect, offset, return offset. Wait, how do I do this? I don't even remember. We shake camera, we set the amount. Oh, it's in a process, right? So we're actually just getting the noise offset and we're setting the offset, right? So that's these things here. So I do that directly on the camera, but then I also have the offset controller, which determines like how far between, like when you face a certain way, the camera moves ahead of you, right? And then you also have the rig, which has a bunch of other stuff on it. Like where to move the player. So you like separate the nodes out so you don't have to worry about calculating that incremental rotations and all that kind of stuff. It just works better. Like this, I think is responsible for like actually on player ground. So I'm trying to think like, what are we doing here? It's been a long time since this was one of the first things I made. Anyway, but yeah, you separate out the nodes and it makes it a lot easier to get all those rotations and stuff down. That's something with Godot that you're just going to end up doing is like abstracting tasks to certain nodes to make things easier. Common, I would say. Okay, we'll do it on the left one too. Add a 3D core method track on the task. It's okay. Task down. Strange name. I should probably consider changing that. I could just call it shake camera. Like, there's no reason why I can't just do that. Is this one longer? Starts at 1. Wait. Go 1 and 1.4. Hang on a second, I did that wrong then. Tail attack left. I've still stuck it on the ticks. Oh, this is incorrect. This is moving too many times. I think that's correct. My brain goes a little bit sideways sometimes. Okay, you should be like very juicy now. Oh, that felt good. Damn. Okay, I'm trapped. He's not supposed to do that. He's just chasing me around with this. Okay, so now we just have to kill him. Okay, right. The other thing that I wanted to do was like make him so he can't do two things in a row. So he shouldn't be able to do this and then do it again. You know what I mean? He should do something else because it's kind of frustrating. And you can position him to just do like the easiest move to avoid is just the one where he throws like a snowball at you. It's not really a snowball. I don't know what it is yet. But if you stand like halfway between him and the wall, he's just going to go for this move. And it's not a very threatening move. So like you could just stand here and just shoot at him. And if you never move, he would never do anything else. And I don't think that's very fun. It's a shockwave. Yeah, it is. It's meant to be like a shockwave. It's just not very well drawn. At least you could tell. So, in the AI, we're back to that. He's juicy as hell, though. Perfectly artistic, yeah. Paint. MS-DOS Paint. Was it? Something like that. I don't know. No, I use Sprite. I'm just not very good. Okay, so here, when we go to next action, choose action, what are we doing? We're just getting a state stack and we're organizing the state stack and we're returning action. So basically, we're just finding the action with the highest points. So the way this works is that we have a dictionary of all the states. I believe it's exposed here. So we have the states. This is all just written out manually. It's not the best, but it works. And we have a score, right? And the score is based on how far away you are. Like, so if you're really close, the tusk attack is more desirable. If you're further away, he's going to jump. If you're in between, he's going to swipe. And that's where you can sort of manipulate it and just stand in the right spot. But what we want to do to make it seem like there's more going on under the hood is get the player moving around. And that's where like having it do say like, hey, maybe don't do the same thing potentially twice in a row. I don't know. What we could do is probably have an array of previously completed actions. And if there's more of one thing in there, then it becomes less desirable. Like you take points from it, basically. It's like you did this twice in a row. It's now less desirable than doing a jump, for example. I reckon that's the way to go. So let's create an array. Where we've got the state stack, we've got. So let's go at. No, we don't need to, it doesn't need to be exposed. Move executed array. All right, I got a little note. Hey, Oh, man, that's a long name. Hang on a second. Let me read. Sorry, KX. Oh, that's like Chinese or something. Thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Sorry, KEU. I can't pronounce Chinese. But hey, I appreciate it nonetheless. Quite challenging to read. I've been to China. I really liked it. Well, actually, I say that. Like, you might not actually be Chinese. But yes, appreciate it. Moves executed. Array. How long have you been developing games? I really started seriously in 2020. Prior to that, it was more of like an on and off hobby. I've been interested my entire life. Like when I was 5 years old, I was trying to make a game like Crash Bandicoot, but I didn't know how to code. You know what I mean? Like I had all these design documents. I should probably dig them up at some point. And then when I was a teenager, I was using RPG Maker. And then like after I graduated university, I picked up the hobby again and I learned how to code. And by the time, like I remember in 2015, I was learning how to use like Unity and stuff. And I was on and off with that for like 3 or 4 years, sort of never really clicking. And then I started using Godot during COVID, during the lockdown. I worked for a hotel and it's not a great place to work during a pandemic. I'll tell you that. And, but what it allowed me to do is I went part-time, and on the day that I wasn't working, I was learning how to code and make games, which was pretty cool. It was a very stressful time, but like I did use the time wildly. Story sounds familiar before the hotel part. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think it's common. You know, people have this interest. Like, I feel like as soon as I knew about games, I was like, I want to be able to make that. It just took me a long time to get there, you know? But sometimes that's just life. Okay, so we've got a moves executed array. And so every time we do a move, we add it to the array. Do we do it when we completed it, or do we do it after we've chosen it? Choose action. So go to next action, we choose action. Last action equals next action. And we do keep track of the last action, actually. Oh, so we can set it to 0 when we come back around. That makes sense. Okay, so then we can also go moves executed dot append. Last action, I guess, or next action. Let's just make it next action. Actually, well, it's just pop front. That's not correct. Push front? Yeah, push front's better than pop front. Okay, so we push everything back. And then what we can do is we can like modify the scores. When we choose next action, what we should do is probably loop through that array, and then like the ones closest to the top of that array will be like a higher score. So if your like first action is like -20 or something like that, and then like the next one below that is going to be like -18 or whatever, and as we go further along the array it becomes like minuscule. We'll probably cap this off. We don't want to keep track of all of them, although like it's probably not like the fight's not going to last long enough for it to become an issue, but like for the sake of doing things properly, we should probably like make that like, is there a way that you can do that? Moves executed dot, is it, I'd be like slice, like max, or you can do max. What does that do for an array? Returns a maximum value. Okay, that's definitely not what I want to do. I think slice is probably the best function here, but let's just have a read. All any append array, assign, b search, clear, count, arrays, fill, filter, find. Where's slice? Reduce. Ah, no, that's callable. I don't want that. Resize. Here we go. Sets the array number of elements. If its size is smaller than the array size, the elements at the end are removed. If the size is greater, the new default elements, usually null, are added depending on the array's type. Returns OK on success. Calling this method once and assigning the new values is faster than calling append for every new element. Yeah, but I don't want null values in this. Although, it probably won't matter. So maybe we can just do with that. Whoa, that was a big one. The way we are doing this in our game before moving to a decision tree was essentially have a list of all the actions, randomize it at once at the start of the fight, and then we have the boss try and do the first or second action at random, and then send that attack to the boss. That way this list is never perfect, but it doesn't do the same attack twice. That's a good point. Like, you could just do that, yeah. Just like make a big list and like, yeah, just randomize it. That would work. Welcome to the chat, Kendall PR. Before moving to decision trees. I guess I'm trying to make a decision tree. It's not exactly a decision tree. It's a pretendy one. Resize. Let's just say 5. Probably put that as a variable. I probably need to watch like a couple of videos about like decision trees for AI, because like I'm sort of just going off the dome. Like I'm not an educated person on this stuff, so I'm just like, how do I think it should look? I kind of like this approach personally. Like sometimes you're just in a new thing and like I just like see, this is how I think it should look. And then like I'll go back and I'll watch tutorials and be like, have people tell me like this is how they do it or whatever, and then I can like, you know, do something else. If I was to make a move set for bosses, it'd probably involve predicting the user's velocity and position for the best attack move. It'd be absolutely relentless. Yeah, that's the next step. But right now it's like, it's just looking at where you are in the room. I'm that guy that runs the studio, but my programmers know much more. enjoy learning about it. Yeah, for sure, man. Max moves, int, isn't it? I base all my monster FSMs and simulate stomach and hunger. Damn, that's crazy. If the monster is full, they don't patrol. If they are hungry, they patrol. If they're super hungry, they won't retreat in a fight. Wow. The stomach setting can relate to the game difficulty. Interesting. Max moves. Where'd that go? What button? There we go. Choose action. No, it was go to the next action. Here it is, yeah. Max move. Okay, so we got moves executed, push front, and then what we'll do in terms of like saves a lot of time for plumbing later. Yeah, that's cool. That's an interesting idea. I haven't even considered difficulty for this game. I've only made like 5 enemies, and then I just switched to working on bosses. I feel like, I don't know. Decision trees in Godot are fun if you're okay at using an add-on like Limbo AI, but making them manually is too rough. What's Limbo AI? Sounds fun. I should probably look at it. Like, I make my state machines by scratch, and everyone always like tells me you should use like a state machine add-on, but like I prefer to write them from scratch because I learned, and so like now I just know behavior trees. And oh, this is probably the one everyone tells me I should use. I should check it out at some. Yeah, I recognize this. This is it here, guys. Right, so you can do like a bunch of like checks and stuff like that for like when it should go to the next state, which is pretty good because like it's something like a state machine is pretty easy, especially for like a player input, because then it's like, you know exactly what's happening. You've got player input. It reads the code of what you're doing visually. Yeah, you've got like all this stack, which is pretty cool. But like in terms of when it goes to the AI, so I can make a state machine, fine, right? That code is not that difficult. But then like trying to figure out what it should do. That's when you get like another script and you're like, okay, well, how do I know what it should do? Based on its distance, like Xilinx said, its velocity. I do want to incorporate whether or not you're on the ground, because like that could be a decision you're going to make a difference. Like if you're jumping, if I jump next, like if the tusk jumps next, it's going to be pretty annoying. Like if you're in the air already, because you can't react as quickly. If you make a mega boss that does everything, you can pull it back easier later. Same with a mega and end level. If you build the hardest level first and take it away things to the first level, it's a good point. Yeah, I haven't really considered difficulty. I know some of the bosses are really hard. I give it to sometimes. I gave it to my brother-in-law, and I was like, "You play," because I know he played Silksong. And he beat the first boss, and I was like, well, if you can beat the first boss, then anyone can. And that was before I added like audio and visual cues. So it was just like moving. It wasn't like making a sound or doing something before it didn't move. It was just doing it. I was like, okay, if he can first try it, then I think it's not too bad. I also gave it to my wife, who doesn't play games at all. Write your own if you can. Asset code juggling breaks down. Yeah. It can be tough. It can be tough. Okay, so we are choosing the next step here. Check direction, go to next action. Okay, go to next action, choose action here, where we want to look at this moves executed. So right now we're just looking at the state action here, and we're assigning a value to it. Prior to that, we probably want to call a function here. We just go check previous moves. Right, and it will not return anything. I don't think it needs to. We're just gonna go through these, so we can just go like for I in moves executed. If state stack dot has I, so which is why I don't think the nulls are going to matter. We can go state stack. Yep. that. And then we can subtract it by some amount here. Like we can take off 10 if it's in this list. Although that is kind of like not quite right. And what we want to do is probably define like a fall off. So like an amount and then a fall. Make it linear for now, just to see. Let's just get it going. We've got max move, and then we can move penalty, and we'll make it a float. I'm gonna make it 20. I feel like that's right. We'll probably just make it. Do we make it a negative number, or do we subtract it in the function? We'll just make it a positive number. Move fall off. Now I said 5 max move, so it's five fives is, so we just make this the same as the max moves. By the time you get to the bottom, it's basically 0, right? 5 fives are 25. Actually, should be 4. Math. All right. So let us check previous moves. Okay. So what we can do is we can set up a counter, and it's going to be, I suppose it's an int. It's equal to max moves. Right. No, it's equal to 1. It's equal to 0. And then here we can say minus move penalty multiplied by I guess it's minus equals, right? Move penalty multiplied by the counter multiplied. Oh, this is not okay. So it's not a multiplication here. It's a subtraction. Counter minus the fall off, right? Okay, that makes sense. I don't need that there. Okay. And then we need to increment the counter. Plus equals 1. So when we do that, we can choose previous moves. Choose action. And then we can say check previous moves. Right? And that'll influence the state stacks values before we loop through them. Okay. Moment of truth. Does things get a bit weird? I think things are going to get a bit weird because like, I feel like this should be more complicated than what I've already written out. So let's find out, you know? I think he always does a jump, right? Ouch. He's oh, I got errors as well. Let's get a little bit closer. So he's always doing swipes, and then he's going to go for a jump because he's done too many. Jesus. This guy's actually terrifying now. Okay. We might need to tweak like some of the direction settings. Now, this guy is like really formidable now. Because he has that ability, he has more mobility, and yeah, it's just a lot going on. He's up there. I was worried it'd be too easy. All right, let's give it another go. And then I think we're almost done for the night, really. Ouch. Yeah, so he pretty much always goes for a jump after that. Dude, he's too big. That's the issue. You can't double jump over him. You can't double jump over him with a dash. I probably need to work on his size. I also need to check out the errors. You can still sort of manipulate this. Oh, he'll go for a swipe now. That's cool. I like that. Man, I think that shockwave is too quick. So like, even if you're kiting him around like this, he'll still go for a swipe now because he's done too many jumps. I think the errors are from the null values. I don't know. So this is probably still the best way to fight him. You don't want to get close because if you do, it becomes a nightmare. Evil Walrus. I want to make him look more mean, but right now he's just got blood on his claws. He'll be like because this is meant to be like a facility where they're doing all sorts of like experiments, sort of like, you know, it's very, I'm going to try to like follow like conspiratorial stuff. So they're trying to like create immortality, or like this guy is going to be a failed weapons experiment, stuff like that. Do milk. Okay, so kiting him is definitely the best strategy here, because then he's never going to do peck. It wouldn't make sense for him to do it anyway. Or would it? Okay, let's have a look at these errors. I think this has got to do with the null checks. Check previous move. Attempted to use has variable type nil. Yeah. Use has is true. Continuing. Check previous moves condition B type validated key. Attempted to use on type nil. Might be missing a few sprites. Yes, it's very prototypey at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it works, but big but. There's a lot of it's not very happy with me. Typed dictionary key of type string. Wait. Check previous moves condition key validate key use has is true, returning false. What? Okay, so it's like 50-50? Because obviously we've got a nil. We don't want that. Key type string. We don't want it to be nil. That's obviously causing issues into a type dictionary of type string. You'd think it would just be like, it doesn't have it, and so it would just move on. But instead, it's giving me errors. Typed key validate condition. Is true, returning false. Honestly, I don't quite understand that second error. The first one is kind of easy to understand. Returns true if the dictionary contains the entry with the given t. If GD script, this is the equivalent to in. Note this method returns true as long as the key exists, even if the corresponding value is null. That's fine. As all, returns true if the dictionary contains all the keys in a given array. Yeah. Okay, but like, so I still definitely want to use this function. I suppose if I didn't have the nil issue, I wouldn't even need to check, because I know that variable is coming from the state machine anyway, right? So I think we probably need to take a look at how we're doing this resize, and we're going max move. I'm guessing this includes 0. Similar functions like randi, this method, shuffle size, returns the number of elements in the array. Empty arrays return 0 is empty. Slice, begin and end returns a new array. This array's elements from begin to end. Every step element. If either begin or end are negative, the value is relative to the end of the array. If step is negative, the method iterates through the array in reverse. If deep is true, all nested arrays, okay, that's fine. That's not 0, prints A and B. Yeah, okay. But sort. Source the array. Final order is dependent on less than k. No, we don't want to sort. Sort custom. You could probably just do a check. Actually, that's, yeah, let's just do that. It's going to be way easier. So I can just say like, if moves executed dot size is equal to or greater than or equal to max move, then really put an S on that. Get rid of this. Also, we want it to be less than or equal to moves executed push front, and then that way it's never gonna have nil. It's never gonna go over. Or we could just count them forever. I think that would be fine. And then we'd have negatives. That wouldn't work either. Well, we just need to come up with a different way to. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Maybe not. I want to print this out, just see it from time to time. I think we're still going to get errors. Moves executed. It really shouldn't go more than 5 or 6. And then also for the check previous moves, this I is a string. And then the counter is fine. We don't need this check anymore. We're just going to go in raw and hope for the best. Assume that I is always correct. And also, can this, oh, well, no, yeah. Anyway, we'll just roll with that for now. Let's go. Godot has a match, which is its case for case select. Yeah, match. Maybe match could work. No, it actually wouldn't, because I just want to iterate through all of them. Ooh, he went for that first. Ouch. Okay. Ouch. And it's no longer deciding what move to do. I don't see any extra printouts, which means it's not checking that function anymore, which is weird. I'm trapped. Oh, you know what? We're no longer adding to it. What we need to do, this is not quite right. So we always want to push that in front, but what we want to do is max moves here. So moves executed. Moves executed dot pop back. There you go. There we go. And so it won't ever extend from there. Get a jump. Tail attack doesn't count, which is good. We don't want it to. Oh, wait, now it's around the wrong way. Flip this. It was always just going to be jump. There's one move in there. Jump, jump. I'll go for a swipe. And then another jump. Get close. Oh, he's going to go for 2 tusk attacks and he's going to go backwards. He really shouldn't do that. I wonder if he'll go for something else. Oh, he will. Never seen a wild rice days. A day is over down under? Yes, it is. It is 9:40. It's almost time to go to bed. I'll be clocking off soon, that's for sure. Okay, so that's an improvement over the previous one. We don't need to see that anymore. I think it's working how expected. So we have now got that down. What is next? The next thing to do is going to be probably okay. So he shouldn't move backwards in a tusk attack. Only be the same direction. Now, I can actually figure that out. Like, I was determining the direction based on the player's position, but I can actually not do that and instead base it on his direction. So he's always gonna, like, even if you like take damage and then walk through him and then it reads your position and says, hey, my best move is to do a tusk, is to do like the peck. Even if he's still facing the wrong way, he's just going to go off. It'll give the player some time. It's fine. I don't think that's an issue. And it's way better than him doing it in the reverse direction. That's weird. So we can go back to tusk attack. And for the direction, what we actually want is probably to determine, we can just go like if we do this check a bunch. Here we go, enemy strike. So what we can do here, we don't even have to do an extra check here. We can just say if we're going left, which is him facing left, I believe that would need to be positive. So we can say direction is equal to, I might get this back to front, vector 2 dot left, and then vector 2 dot right. I think it might be the other way around. We'll find out real quick. Hit me with it. Oh, that's correct. Ouch. See, now if I walk through, he's just going to go in that direction. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, much more... Ow, dude. You do not want to stand close to this guy. Oh, he jumped. Oh, he killed me. Damn, he's pretty ferocious, actually. You got it to work. Nice work, dude. I have notes and velocity information. That's awesome. Velocity is the power at which you hit the key, right? That's cool. Hell yeah, dude. Wait, will I be able to hook my MIDI keyboard up to this and play something? I'd be down to test it. Okay. Now for the dreaded function of making the entire FM algorithm. I don't know what that means, but sounds tough. Yeah, it has MIDI support? Hell yeah, dude. I don't have any like packs. I don't know what you call them. You know, when you load them up to like, is it called Conquer? What's it called? It starts with a K. That thing people use to like load up MIDI sounds and then play them. Sample tracks and whatever. Also, this might be random for music heads. I heard Native Instruments was going out of business. Is that true? Rip to the goats. Native Instruments is a German company that develops and manufactures supplies. They make keyboards. I have a Native Instrument keyboard. I got a blank screen. I think their website's down. Do they make... They might disperse into various other companies. Damn. Contact is what I was thinking, where you load samples up for your keyboard. Do they make Ableton? Ableton AG. They're from the same country, but doesn't look like it. Ableton was founded in 1999, who together formed Monolake, and software engineer after working on granular synthesis for native instruments, Reactor, as well as earlier software. They're related somehow. Might not to really use it since it has all the parameters directly. Well, you know what I mean. I'm just sort of like, I have like music. I have musical tools that I can play around with. I'm so bad. It's crazy like how much like making music is like a muscle. Like a couple of months ago I was like playing around with the keyboard and I was like, man, like I used to be able to do shit and now I can just like beeps and boops. Like I still know how to play, it's muscle memory, but like in terms of like creating something that is interesting is something that I feel like you lose over time. Maybe I'm wrong there. Okay. Oh, okay, on defeat. So I need to set something up for defeat because like right now the enemies and bosses just disappear. Now, I don't really care much for the enemies just disappearing. Maybe it's better if they like fall to the ground and stuff like that. But the bosses I think should remain. Although, I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess. So I do have an animation, right? Death. And he falls down and he's like in his pool of blood. He's dead. Right? It's not a great animation. It's like really thrown together. But it could be like that. You'd have to remove all the hitboxes and stuff. That's the problem. Like you probably want to spawn in. So you play the animation. Or even you have a separate sprite that you like just spawn in and then it plays its animation and goes into this state and then it just stays there forever. So when you come back into the room, that's when it loads up. It can be done. It's way easier to delete them rather than playing an animation. So there is a function death effect. It expects a pack scene. I don't think it really needs. What does it do when it dies? You know what I mean? Play death effect. New death. Death effect instantiate. Top level true. Global position equals global position. Get parent. Add child. Call deferred. New effect. Add child. Call deferred. New effect. Okay, so we just add it to the scene. That's all we do. So that's fine. We can do that. So we can just create a sprite. Yeah, it can just be a sprite, right? Like we actually don't want to like, we can walk through it and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. We just need to add the animation. So, brain needs to think and we need this death animation. Can I cheat? Can I take this animation and then just like, can I save this as a separate scene? I'm feeling kind of lazy. Praise task. Dead. Defeated. I don't like the word dead. Praise task defeated. Also, I feel like it'd be better if it was somewhat mechanical. The blood on the ground is kind of, I don't know, like, I know it's meant to be a more serious game, but at the same time, like it feels kind of wrong. I don't know why. Maybe because it is an animal at the end of the day. It's not like a bad thing. It's just been poorly treated. Like even if you think about the morality, because it's been like scientifically experimented on, it's like it's a victim at the end of the day. It's not evil. It's just, you know, been made that way. So I have to think about whether or not I do something different. But for now, that's what we're going to go with. Okay, Crazed Tusk defeated. Doesn't have anything. Remove its scripts. You can just delete this. Just so we're sure. I get a little bit paranoid. He's still here. Okay. Crazed Tusk defeated. We literally want to keep the sprite. Literally just about to delete it. We don't need anything else. We just keep the sprite and delete. And actually, we just make this the scene root and add that here. Oh, it's crank. Damn it. Wait, why is that like a problem? Okay, so that's still fine. And then what we could do is just change this to a node. Change type node. Node 2D. Okay. And so what we can do is just on is autoplay probably not what we want to do. What we could do instead is have a little script on this. We want a script. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's just set it up as autoplay for now. I'm just cognizant of the fact that if you say, so my plan is to say like when you load back into this room, if you're like wandering around in the game, it will still be there. Unlike regular enemies that respawn, bosses will just still be there. And so it's like, it's possible if you just set it to autoplay that you could walk in and see the boss alive and then die again, which would be like kind of weird. So something to consider to keep track of the situation, and then just instead just make it all the way on that last frame. But for now, we just need to load this in. Now I'm going to change this node to defeated. Okay, so if we go to Crazed Tusk now, we add in the death effect. Crazed Tusk defeated. Could you imagine if you accidentally add Crazed Tusk, and so when he dies, he just respawns. He just comes straight back. Okay, so that really should be it. In theory, we should be able to defeat him. I don't know how much health he's got. 1500. Let's make him a little bit softer. Make it 1000. I think I do 20 damage. It shouldn't be that many hits. He only has one phase. I can consider adding more phases potentially down the line. He's kind of a lot already. It's okay, I should be able to defeat him pretty quickly. He spends a lot of time standing still. So this really shouldn't be that hard if I really push him. Oh god, okay. Okay. I'm gonna stand at the edges and then just avoid those. A lot easier. I suppose it's theoretically possible that he dies while he's jumping. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Wait, how much health does this guy have? 1000? How many hits is that? Dude, 1500 was too many. Just filling this guy with bullets. Okay, he's definitely got too much health, or I don't do enough damage. I've sort of got the pattern down. But then I've been fighting against him way longer, you know? So I think this would be difficult for someone playing the... My brain won't shut the fuck up.
My brain won't shut the fuck up.
Well, if you're looking at your screen, it's even worse because the blue screen, like the blue on the screen will keep you awake for even longer. So you're only... Oh shit, I died. Okay, he's got way too much health. That was too much. Let's just halve that again because we're trying to test. Actually, let's just make it 200. It really shouldn't take long. Wait, are we even doing damage? Can be invulnerable in vulnerability timer? Have we connected up the signals for that? Ooh, I'm starting to doubt. 1500 health is a lot, but it's not that much. I'm starting to think that he doesn't take damage. All this time. There's no way. I've hit him so many times. Max health, 200.
I know, but I'm thinking of like 50 million different things at once. We may be having to possibly leave because they're selling house brother being a cunt and a lot more.
Just dropping C words on my stream, bro. Dude, what the heck? Selling a house is tough. Moving is really hard. I moved a lot when I was a kid, and it wasn't fun. We've got Americans watching. Or Europeans. Actually, I'm sure the Europeans don't care much about that word. Okay, this guy doesn't die. Okay, so I'm assuming that the hurt box is not connected to the head bone. No, I'm joking. So the hurt box is connected. We don't even know how, if we have to move or not. Yeah, it's a bit like that. I've been through like all that kind of stuff. During COVID, I didn't have a house. I was literally living in a cottage. I was still paying rent, but like we found someone on Facebook at the last second. It was just so hard to find a rental property. Okay, so what is going on here? Print health. I can only assume that the hurt box is connected. Areas are connected. On connect. I don't think he's taking damage. There's just no way. 200 health is nothing. Or maybe he doesn't have the signal to die. Yeah, he just goes into negative. Look at that. So it's not that he doesn't have health, it's that he doesn't have the information to say that his health is 0. On health container, health is 0. Is there another function? Play death effect. On health container, health is 0. Why didn't it connect to that?
How dare they try and sell our house that we are renting?
It happens, man. It sucks, but yeah. It's not easy. It's unfortunate that, I mean, obviously it's hard to talk about that in Australia without it becoming too political, because like at the end of the day, there's a lot of issues with our housing at the moment, and there's not a lot of people with good solutions. Where is on health 0? Spell wrong, that's why. Disconnect. Yeah, it's a tough one. Okay, he should die for sure now. I should be able to kill him real quick. He's got barely any health. Hey. Okay, so his positioning is a bit off, but like that worked really well otherwise. And now he's just laying there looking a little bit sad for himself. Poor guy. Excuse me. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm happy with that. We can just animate down the position of the sprite. So we can do that pretty easily. And then that's it. All right. That's it. It is 10 p.m. It is late and I have a job. So I must bid you adieu. And go to sleep. But hey, we made progress. I've been like procrastinating with this boss for weeks. So I'm happy to see it like be done. And well, kind of done. I think I need to add sound. There's no sound, but I'll do that off stream because sound, like, I don't know. I've never really done sound on stream, but I feel like listening to me click through sound effects for something that's going to be temporary, by the way, it's not going to be the final sound effect, but I just need to have them there. It's not fun.
Me gonna try and sleep and try not think of the 9 million different things, but you have to feed your fire a pancake with a pancake fire that's in your attic roof floor.
Don't forget, guys. Don't ever forget to feed your fire pancake with a fire pancake. And it might be in your attic roof or floor. I don't have an attic. I don't have a basement. I mean, it's Queensland, bro. Neither of those things. Okay. That's it. Let's do a raid. Wrong one. This one. Who's up? Not many people. Damn, is there no Godot creators on right now? Here we go. We've got to English. Play in chat to get started. Day 33, solo dev. 1 viewer. It's your lucky day. I'm going to give you 5 more. I don't know what's going on here, but you guys are going to go find out. Have fun. And I'll see you all next time, whenever that is. Thursday.